it's Yuri again, and today I wanted to share with you how I like to take different cuttings from my tropical plants. Most of them are philodendrons that have air roots, so I wanted to show you all how I like to do it and then how I end up propagating them so that I have more of them, and I tend to give them away to my friends, but I'm even considering starting to sell them or even just having more plants. I'm not sure what I'll do with these yet. I actually just got in the mail this set of jars. I think it's mostly for wedding favors. I'll pull one out so you can see. But they're just these glass jars, and they were cheaper than mason jars, which are hard to find right now on Amazon anyways. They have these kind of cheap metal. Yeah, it's metal actually. So maybe it's not that cheap because it's metal instead of plastic, but this is real glass, and it's just around this right height for how I like to do my cuttings because my philodendrons tend to be quite tall. So here's one of my corners where I have a bunch of tropical plants. You can see them all growing here. I'll pull them up closer with, well, I'll pull my camera closer, but I normally like to go around when I water my plants once a week. That once a week cadence really depends on how hot it is and what type of plants there are. I actually try to do like a sweep every day just because I like to look at my plants. I'll usually go around with this set of scissors. These are Fiskar. They're just like small pruning scissors. I think they're marketed for like bonsai, but obviously I use it for non-bonsai. I also walk around with this compostable dog poop bag just to put any cuttings of things that I don't want. It's part of having plants, getting rid of like the dead leaves that happen or just trimming things off. So I like to have this so it's really just easy for me to pick up the trash. So I already took cuttings off of this one actually. This is one of my mini monsteras. I have 2 adult plants. I mean, if you could call this one an adult. You'll see that they just have these air roots that are sticking up. So those are different nodes. Like this is, if I cut it right here, like right here, that would be one node, because this air root right here will grow into its own root system if you put it in water. So I could technically make 2 more plants out of this if I just like snipped. And actually what I really like to do with these, I like to take a node with an obvious air root that looks healthy. This is still white and looks fairly healthy, so I'm trying to show you, but the camera is not focusing. Maybe this way? Okay, you can kind of see it that way. I like that it has at least 1 leaf attached, so this one has 1 leaf attached and a root node. So this could make 2 good ones, but then the plant itself would be left with 0 leaves. I think this will be fine, to be honest. Mini monstera are pretty sturdy and stable, but I like to keep at least a few leaves on the main plant just so that it continues to grow and produce more nodes so that I can cut it later. So this one I'm not going to touch today. Here's an example of a plant that's not quite ready yet for me because of a few things. It has these cute 2 leaves. It's an Anthurium Veitchii. It's obviously a little baby, but I love it. You can kind of see the root nodes here. I'll try to focus it. There you go. You'll see them up above the soil, like right there. But the problem is it's really hard to take a cutting where it's just the air root and only one of these leaves, ideally. I could try to do like a sideways snip of this, but it's a little risky, so I'm gonna wait for this to grow out more, and hopefully at the next leaf it spits out another air root and then I can cut it there, if I wanted to. I might just let this guy grow actually without splitting it up. I know I started this video with, here are all the things I'm gonna cut and propagate and all the leaves I'm gonna cull, and I haven't done it yet, but don't worry, this next one I definitely am going to make the cut. It is this Philodendron Mexicanum. I love this thing. It has these huge leaves. It's not gonna fit super well in my propagation area, but here you go. There's what it looks like. It's growing really well. This is a newer leaf that's almost done hardening off. The awesome thing about this guy, if I can get the camera right, is there's a ton of air roots that are really long and growing. It's definitely looking for more moisture and really trying to find another place to get water and nutrients from, so it's actually a really good time for me to cut it. These are fairly developed, so they'll grow out into a root system very quickly. The leaves are big, and they'll get lots of energy from the sun. So with this one, I'll probably make 2 cuts. Maybe 3 cuts. I'm gonna make 3 cuts. Actually, I'm gonna make 2 cuts because I don't wanna really hurt the main plant by cutting too many leaves off all at once. So I'm gonna make a cut right here. Right there. And then the second cut I'm gonna make right here. This node here has a really long root here, which is great. It's gonna be awkward to fit it in that glass that I just showed you earlier. But it has 1 leaf attached, this guy. So I'm happy with that. And then the top one actually has only 1 leaf the top one has 2 leaves. No, just 1 leaf. Just this one. And it has a new leaf coming out, so I could potentially wait for this leaf to come out first, but honestly, every time I wait for a leaf on this plant, it just spits out a new one. So I think it's now or never, or I guess I'll just keep waiting for it otherwise, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make the cut. So when you cut, you wanna make a quick, clean cut. These scissors are honestly probably a bit smaller than you'd want to make a cutting on this big stem. It's been fine with my other plants, so I'm just gonna keep using this one. I don't have bigger scissors, but if you tend to have philodendrons that are sort of thicker, probably advise you to get bigger ones than these, because it is a little bit hard to make a clean cut so that the plant doesn't get sick. All right, so you can't really see it. Move my other plants. Is that better? I don't know if it's better. That's kind of better. Okay. So right here, just gonna make this cut. 3, 2, 1. All right, so that wasn't super clean. Like I said, I probably need bigger scissors, to be honest. I'm trying to focus and show you. There you go, you can kind of see this way. Or not. My camera really just doesn't want to focus on this shoddy cutting job. There you go, come on, focus. Focus. Anyway, some of these smell kind of funny when you do this. It really does not want to focus on it. There you go, we got it, okay. It's not as clean as I want, so I'll probably clean it up so that the cut is as sterile and clean as possible. And I'm gonna make my second cut as well. Put this guy down for now. Some people like to let the cuttings sort of scab over wherever you cut it. They just leave it out for a little bit, but I haven't really had any issues with the cutting rotting in water, which is how I like to propagate, so I'm not gonna do that, but I've just seen other people do it. Alright, so this one's getting cut right here, but this one's cleaner of a cut. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was cleaner. Maybe it'll focus faster too, because it's cleaner. It's better to show it. There you go, yeah, I got it. And it has these big air roots that are definitely not gonna fit in that jar I showed you. So I don't know where I'm gonna stick this thing, but I'll figure it out. And that's it for this Mexicanum. I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna take this dead leaf thing and put it in my compost bag. What will happen over the next week or so is I'll be able to see where it decides to put out its next new leaf now that its main growth point has been cut. So it'll either come out, I actually don't know where it'll come out from. It's a mystery, but it'll be fun to see that. Now, I have a bunch of different plants I could propagate, but the only other one that I really wanted to show you all on this video today is my Philodendron Pink Princess. So, it's right here. There you go. There's my beautiful pink princess. I've heard that sometimes they end up reverting back to what is more commonly called a burgundy princess. I'm a little bit of, I think this leaf is actually okay, but if it starts to revert back into a darker color, all the nodes from that point will just forever be the burgundy princess and not have these lighter pink colors on it. TBD what happens here, but I've been meaning to cut this because it's just been growing quite quickly. I also have some friends who have been looking for a pink princess, but they keep selling out on different sites or they're extremely expensive. So I'm gonna get these cuttings started for them. I noticed when the stem is more of this reddish color, it has an interesting smell to it when you cut it, and it kind of reminds me of beets a little bit. We'll see what this one smells like when I cut it. There's a root node here with an air root sticking out with 2 leaves, and it's actually gonna pop out a 3rd leaf soon, I think. No, that's a remnant, yeah. And it's getting ready on the other side. You can't see it. It'll pop out a new leaf soon, and these will get bigger. So I wanna cut it right there. And I also wanna cut again here, so it'll only have this 1 leaf, which I actually think is, no, this leaf is my favorite leaf, even though it's not perfect from transit. I think I'm gonna do 3 cuttings on this one. So I'll do 1 more here to contain this leaf that doesn't quite have as much pink to it. So this time, instead of going from top to bottom, I'm gonna do the bottom first, and then I'll do the next 2 after it's been detached from the main plant. So right here, let me try to zoom in to the cut. I don't know, can you see better? Maybe. There's a root node right here. And I'm just gonna take this and give it a good snip. So I'm gonna count again, so I want it to be quick and sharp. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, it smells kind of funky, but not like beets. And of course it's not going to focus again. There you go. And I noticed with my other red one, my white wizard, it actually kind of bled for a while. So this is kind of juicy. I think I'm gonna do the other 2 cuttings in the actual propagation area because it's definitely gonna drip everywhere and I don't want to clean up after it. So I will move everything over there. So here's a quick update on my Philodendron Pink Princess cuttings that I took. I took 3 different cuttings, and this one was the top cutting. My camera battery died, so I'm gonna use my phone, but I wanted to show a quick update of my Philodendron Pink Princess cuttings that I took a few weeks ago. So I've just rooted it in water. I put all 3 of them in 1 container just to be efficient. And you can see that there's already a leaf forming right there. That was the top cutting, so let me show you what that looks like. This one had 2 leaves, while the other ones all had 1. It's actually kind of stuck, It's stuck to the other one. I'm gonna have to separate it very gently, but the roots are kind of growing into each other. And then if you see the second one that's attached, it's also putting out a little leaf right there. It's hard to tell right now because it's not really close to unfurling, but it's right there, you can kind of see it. And my 3rd cutting, I was really sad about and nervous because the leaf that I cut it with just popped off. So you'll see this sad little stub. This is my 3rd cutting. But actually, when I was taking another look at it today, there is a little growth happening right here in this nook. And I did talk about this Mexicanum and took cuttings in the video. So this is about 5 weeks later, and you can see that there's a new growth right here. And there's another one right there on the bottom, underneath the air roots, right there where my finger is. I was the most worried about my Philodendron Pink Princess because as soon as I took the cuttings from the top, the leaves all spread out away from the center of the plant. There's 2 new growth points though. There's one right here on the very top, and another one coming out from down here. My next video will be a houseplant tour video, and if you want to see the progress of all the cuttings, I will definitely show you in that video. So please subscribe so that you can get updates for when I post that next one. And thank you all so much for tuning in. What are you doing, Wolf? He's just standing up and wanting pets. Where are you going?